Heart Compass Adventure, Night 1. Lost Wages Fever. The neon lights outside buzz like drunk fireflies as you swagger or maybe stumble into the Velvet Mirage, Lost Wages' hottest, weirdest nightclub. A place where the drinks are neon, the patrons are feral, and the DJ is apparently remixing Hall & Oates with the sound of a blender full of ice. A glitter cannon explodes nearby, for no apparent reason. You shake the glitter from your hair and scan the pulsating dance floor, and that's when you see them, at the bar, framed by a ridiculous glowing martini glass sculpture. Two women sit side by side, though something about their body language says they're together, but not together. On the left, a sun-kissed beauty with a loose braid, wearing a casual but striking linen dress covered in tiny hand-stitched stars. She's sipping something tropical and laughing warmly with the grizzled bartender. There's a kind of wild kindness in her eyes, like she's seen disasters and miracles, and still thinks people are worth it. On the right, a sleek, high-cheekbone siren in an ultra-modern black jumpsuit that somehow looks both effortless and lethal. She leans back casually, swirling a crystal-clear drink, observing the room with a tiny amused smirk. The kind of look that says, I know your next 3 moves and already find them tedious. Her jewelry is minimalist but brutally expensive. Above them, a sign flickers, tonight's special, cocktails and consequences. You feel your heartbeat double. Partly because of them, partly because the floor might actually be vibrating. What do you do? Astride confidently to the bar, order a drink without asking what's available, and toast casually to the best mistakes of the night. B. Approach the sun-kissed woman first, complimenting her laugh and sliding into an easy conversation about the weirdest thing you've ever seen tonight. C. Approach the sleek woman first, challenge her lightly with, you look like you're 3 moves ahead. Mind if I make it 4? D. Stand nearby, pretending to study the absurd cocktail menu. Glitter Mule, Vodka Vacuum, Bitter Regret, and 3 until they notice you. E. Write your own action or line. What's your move, hero? You roll your shoulders back, crack a charming half smile, and stride to the bar like a man who just bought stock in Destiny Inc. The bass drops behind you, an unholy mashup of Take On Me and Thriller, but you barely flinch. Coolness is a decision. You plant your elbow on the bar between the 2 women at just the right respectful distance. Enough for mystery, not enough for creepinesses, and signal the grizzled bartender, who looks like he's survived at least 3 minor wars and 1 nasty divorce. I'll have a Long Island iced tea. Without alcohol, you say, dead serious. The bartender raises one eyebrow so high it nearly joins the neon sign. What? He asks, baffled, glass halfway in his hand. You lean in slightly, wink and deadpan cola. The bartender snorts, a rare, genuine sound, and gets to work. Reactions, and the sun-kissed woman lets out a warm, surprised laugh, like a bell someone bumped into accidentally. She turns her body slightly toward you, curiosity flashing in her golden brown eyes. The sleek woman tilts her head the tiniest bit, her lips twitching with a smirk she tries to hide. She doesn't turn yet, but she sees you. You've cracked the ice without even raising your voice. As your glass clinks onto the bar, the sun-kissed woman nudges your elbow gently with hers and says, so, avoiding bad decisions or just playing with expectations? Meanwhile, the sleek woman watches you from the corner of her eye, measuring, calculating, amused. How do you reply? A flash of playful grin and say, why not both? Some chaos, some caution, keeps life spicy. B. Smile warmly at the sun-kissed woman and say, tonight I'm here for real connections, not just sugar and regrets. C. Turns slightly toward the sleek woman and quip, depends. Are you offering a better decision? To raise your glass in mock solemnity and say, to the only vice left standing, sarcasm. I'll write your own response. What's your next move, maestro? You catch the sun-kissed woman's teasing tone and grin back like you've been waiting your whole life for this alley-oop. You raise your glass slightly and say, loud enough to cut through the cocktail of bad 80 seconds remixes, thank you for mentioning bad decisions. I almost forgot. Coke Zero. You put special emphasis on zero like it's the secret password to an exclusive underground health cult. The grizzled bartender gives a tiny grunt of acknowledgement, the bartender equivalent of a standing ovation, and, without a word, slides a fresh glass your way with a knowing nod. Reactions. The sun-kissed woman laughs again, a fuller, richer laugh this time, and her eyes crinkle at the corners. There's that look people get when they find someone who knows how to dance lightly through life without stepping on toes. The sleek woman, still half pretending not to notice you, lifts her drink in a subtle salute, as if silently approving your insufferable but efficient flair. You're threading a fine line here, and for now, you're still upright. The sun-kissed woman leans a little closer, her arm resting casually on the bar. So you're either very disciplined, or you're hiding a wild side under all that cola foam. Her voice is curious, playful, but also probing, like she's feeling around the edges of your soul for the spark. Meanwhile, the sleek woman speaks for the first time without turning, or he's just hedging his bets. 0 calories, maximum plausible deniability. She says it with a slow, shark-like smile you can feel even without looking. How do you respond? A grin and say to both, guilty. I like to leave room for more interesting mistakes. B. Turn to the sun-kissed woman and say earnestly, wild side should be reserved for the right kind of wild people. C. Smirk at the sleek woman and reply, denial is a strategy, and sometimes the best offense is looking harmless. To raise your glass to both and say playfully, you two are dangerously perceptive. I might be outmatched here. You write your own response. Your move, heartbreaker? You let their words hang in the smoky air for a heartbeat. Then with a slow, confident smile, you say, maximum fun. You hold the sun-kissed woman's gaze, steady, unhurried, like you're sharing a secret only the two of you understand. You don't even glance at the sleek woman who spoke without turning. You stay locked in, daring and warm. For a moment, the sun-kissed woman blinks, caught a little off guard. Not because she's uncomfortable, but because you didn't flinch. A spark flickers in her eyes. A recognition. A silent, thrilling And right then, as if the universe is a cosmic DJ cueing your entrance, the music shifts. A surreal mashup of Madonna's Like a Prayer and the theme from Knight Rider throbs into existence, somehow both ridiculous and irresistible. Without a word, you lift your glass in a tiny, cocky toast, down the last sip of your Coke Zero, and stride onto the dance floor. The neon lights strobe around you, and the crowd parts just enough to let you carve a space, a rogue wave cutting through the ocean of chaos. From the corner of your eye, you catch movement at the bar, and the sun-kissed woman is laughing, a hand over her mouth, watching you with bright, delighted curiosity. The sleek woman's smirk has shifted. It's tighter now, sharper, as if recalculating her mental chessboard. She sips her drink thoughtfully. The stage is set. The spotlight, well, a flickering disco ball is yours. What do you do on the dance floor? A dance with a playful, confident swagger, making it look like you're having the most fun in the room. No pressure on anyone to join. B. Dance close enough to the bar that the sun-kissed woman can see you clearly. Then invite her to join you with just a raised eyebrow and a half smile. C. Dance alone for a bit. Then smoothly transition into encouraging a whole small group of random people around you to join, making it a spontaneous mini-party. D. Throw in some hilariously exaggerated serious dance moves, moonwalk, fail, robot dance to make the sun-kissed woman laugh harder. Pure charisma bomb. E. Write your own action. Your move, king of the neon jungle. You don't overthink it. You don't plot or pose, you just move. The beat worms into your spine and you let it. Arms loose, steps playful but sure. A man perfectly in sync with the ridiculous, glorious absurdity of Knight Rider Madonna remix. At first, you're just carving your own rhythm. A little two-step here, a twirl there, a goofy shoulder roll that somehow looks strangely charismatic when you own it without apology. A couple of nearby dancers, 2 women in sequin jackets, a guy with a neon green mullet, catch your vibe and start laughing, not at you, but with you. The energy ripples outward. Suddenly, your little personal jam session is pulling in orbiters like a low-gravity moon. No tension, no forced charm. Just genuine fun like oxygen after a house fire. You spot, from the corner of your eye, the sun-kissed woman rising from her bar stool, cocktail in hand. She leans her hip casually against the rail, watching you. And now it's not just curiosity. There's something warmer, something magnetic. Meanwhile, the sleek woman stays seated, crossing one leg elegantly over the other, tapping a finger lazily against her glass. She's still observing, but this time it's with a touch of admiration, or maybe professional interest, like a cat watching a particularly daring mouse. The DJ launches into a gloriously bad remix of Eye of the Tiger and Material Girl, and the dance floor whoops. You keep dancing, no mission, no mind games, just that simple, rare frequency, joy. After a few minutes, your mouth starts to get dry, curse you enthusiastic cardio, and the call of the bar and sweet fizzy salvation begins to tug at you. You can head back to the bar, returning like a victorious hero from a battlefield of beats, cool, smiling, and still riding the high. B. Dance your way back toward the sun-kissed woman, offer her a playful, exaggerated bow, and invite her wordlessly or not to join you. C. Take a slow lap off the floor, passing near the sleek woman, and casually toss a witty line her way before grabbing a drink. D. Grab your drink first, then turn around and casually see who, if anyone, decided to follow you back toward the bar. E. Write your own action. Your next beat, maestro, you make your way off the dance floor, grinning like a man who's just won a secret championship no one else knew was happening. Your shirt clings a little from the heat, your heart still drumming out the bass line, and your mouth feels drier than a stand-up comedian in a nursing home. Target, cola, mission, rehydrate, and reload. You reach the bar, and there, as if no time had passed, your precious Coke Zero waits. But it's not alone. The sun-kissed woman is standing right there, one hand casually resting near your glass, like she might have been keeping an eye on it for you. Not possessively, more like solidarity. You catch her eye, and despite the breath tearing in and out of your lungs, you flash her a broad, genuine smile. The kind that says, "This night is ridiculous, and somehow perfect." She smiles back. A slow, amused curve of the lips that warms the space between you better than any cheap nightclub heater. You don't speak immediately, partly because you're out of breath, partly because you don't need to. You just reach for your glass, lift it in a silent, grateful toast, and gulp down a long, life-giving drink. The cold rush of cola against your throat is better than any sermon on salvation. You breathe out heavily, chest heaving a little, but you're still riding the wave of happy momentum. A living, grinning reminder that fun is a form of power. The sun-kissed woman chuckles softly and says, almost conspiratorially, "You look like you were having the time of your life out there." There's a tiny challenge in her voice, like she's wondering if you'll downplay it or double down. Meanwhile, the sleek woman, still perched at the bar, watches over the rim of her glass, cool, calculating, unreadable, but not uninterested. What do you do? Beam and say, "I was." It's illegal to dance that badly and enjoy it that much, but here we are. B. Lean casually on the bar, catch your breath and say, "Only way to survive lost wages, dance like no one's billing you for it." So raise your glass slightly to the sun-kissed woman and say, "Best part? I wasn't dancing alone. Energy finds energy." To flash a wink at the sleek woman too, and say playfully to both, "Who knew cardio could be such a spectator sport?" E. Write your own response. Take your shot, adventurer. You take another sip from your glass, the coolness reviving you, the fizz crackling like tiny fireworks inside your chest. Then, without rushing, still a little breathless but glowing from the inside out, you turn your full, easy smile toward the sun-kissed woman and say, "Just check that feeling out yourself." You add a playful wink and a teasing little grin. And I think, I'll have even more fun when I'm reloaded and back on the dance floor. The words are light, breezy, but there's a current underneath. An open invitation, no pressure, just possibilities. She tilts her head slightly, considering you. Not like she's weighing pros and cons, but like she's deciding which flavor of adventure she's hungry for tonight. Her smile spreads slowly, warmly, not just amused now, but sparked. "You know," she says, twirling her straw absent-mindedly, "I work in places where joy is a survival skill, not a luxury. I'd say you're doing important work tonight." There's a glimmer of something in her gaze, playful yes, but layered with real depth. She's teasing, but she's not lying either. The sleek woman at the bar chuckles lowly into her glass, a private velvet sound, but stays silent, watching. You can feel it, the subtle gravitational shift. You're not chasing approval, you're offering an experience, and they're both noticing. What do you do next? Offer your hand to the sun-kissed woman with a slight bow, no words, the classic silent invitation to dance. B. Finish your drink casually, then saunter back to the dance floor, making it clear she's welcome to follow, but you're not waiting. So sit back at the bar briefly, Catch your breath properly and invite her into a playful conversation about the weirdest place you've ever danced. To flash a daring glance at the sleek woman too, and joke, careful ladies, fun is highly contagious in confined spaces. Write your own move. The rhythm of the night is still yours. How do you play it? You lean back slightly, swirling your glass thoughtfully, letting her words settle like dust in sunlight. Then, almost to yourself, but loud enough for her to hear, you murmur, "Joy is a survival skill, not a luxury." You say it not like a pickup line, but like someone actually tasting the truth of it. The sun-kissed woman watches you with a softness that wasn't there before. A flicker of recognition. You're not just playing games, you're paying attention. You meet her gaze again, a little more serious, a little more curious, and ask gently, with a half-smile tugging at the corner of your mouth, "Where did you learn that?" Then, with a perfectly timed mischievous glint, you add, tilting your head slightly toward the sleek woman without looking directly at her, "And any ideas how your silent friend could learn that too?" You deliver the last part just light enough, cheeky enough, that it lands as playful provocation, not an insult. Reactions, and the sun-kissed woman lets out a short, surprised laugh. Delighted, and a little impressed that you dared to poke at the untouchable ice queen at the bar. And she leans her elbows on the bar, inching closer, like she's pulling you into a little conspiracy. Field hospitals, refugee camps, places where you either learn to find sparks in the dark, or you drown, she says, voice quiet but fierce. Then she glances sideways at her friend, mischievous. As for her, well, she grins. She might need an antidote a little stronger than cola. The sleek woman finally turns her head, regarding you coolly but not coldly, one eyebrow raised just a fraction. "Careful," she says silkily, tapping her glass against yours with a barely audible clink. "Teaching me joy might cost you more than you can afford." Her tone is half warning, half challenge, the kind that means she's enjoying this far more than she lets on. You feel it, the delicious tension between the three of you, humor, depth, intrigue, risk. The dance floor still throbs nearby, light spinning like carnival mirrors. Your heart's fully reloaded. Your next move? A smile roguishly and say to both, "Well, lucky for me, I'm already heavily overdrawn on good decisions tonight." Then offer your hand to the sun-kissed woman for a dance. B say earnestly to the sun-kissed woman, finding sparks in the dark. Sounds like a dance worth learning, and invite her for a slow, playful spin back onto the dance floor. C flash a teasing smile at the sleek woman and say, "I'll take my chances. Besides, joy doesn't come with a refund policy." Then suggest a bold group dance challenge to both women. To casually lean into the moment, let them respond further, saying nothing for a beat, just smiling knowingly, giving space for them to come to you. Write your own move. How do you turn up the heat, maestro? You take another small sip of your drink, setting it down with a soft clink, and let a thoughtful smile cross your face. Not performative, not rushed. You speak a little slower now, drawing them both into the current of your thoughts. Joy from doing something meaningful. You glance lightly between them, not forcing eye contact, just sharing it. Isn't that worth more than a ridiculously high amount of money? The sun-kissed woman leans in, her expression sharpening, attentive, almost searching your face. You continue more warmly now, letting a playful smirk touch your lips. One of my best friends always grumbles, "Quit boring talk about mutual aid and Rojava," but whenever I look at photos of the Rojava people, you pause just enough for a little gravity. I see some heartfelt joy, even though they're facing insane aggression from all sides. You leave it there, not preachy, not heavy, just an observation charged with a quiet sincerity. Reactions: a sun-kissed woman's eyes light up, not flashy, but deeply. You hit something real inside her. She bites her lower lip slightly, nodding slowly, as if she wants to say something profound but isn't rushing it. You notice things most people ignore, she says softly. Almost like she's revealing a secret about you you didn't even know yet. The sleek woman watches you now, less like a cat and more like a professional gambler studying a surprisingly bold player. She swirls her drink once and murmurs, "Or maybe you just know how to pick beautiful fairy tales to believe in." Her voice is teasing, but without the cruelty she could easily have added. There's respect hidden in there, just a sliver, But it's there. The air between the three of you feels richer, denser, like a canvas being painted on the fly. The DJ, oblivious to the emotional symphony at the bar, blasts out a mashed up remix of Girls Just Wanna Have Fun in Danger Zone. The dance floor pulses again. Now, with the connection deepened, what do? A look warmly at the sun-kissed woman and say, maybe we should make our own little spark tonight, and invite her onto the dance floor with a light touch of your fingers. B turns slightly to the sleek woman, smile challengingly and say, fairy tales are for the brave. Want to write one with a little more dancing? Stay where you are. Let the two women react more fully, signaling that you're not in a hurry to win, but actually willing to share the moment longer. To casually suggest a playful challenge, first one to show the most ridiculous dance move wins another drink, and a secret story. You write your own move. What path does your adventure take, heart compass adventurer? You lean casually on the bar, still breathing easily, a glint of mischief in your eyes as you gesture toward the DJ, who is now furiously bobbing his head to his chaotic mashup of Girls Just Wanna Have Fun in Danger Zone. With a small wry laugh you say, as if he's playing the soundtrack to the Rojava situation, girls just wanna have fun, but live in a danger zone. You let the line hang there for a second, part joke, part truth, then soften your voice, a little sheepishly but sincerely, sorry for bringing up Northeast Syria again. You shrug lightly, the same way you'd apologize for bringing up your weird indie music taste. Not ashamed, just knowing it's not exactly nightclub banter. But then your voice firms up warmly, it's just, they don't talk, they act bravely. And when you see what they've built, you can actually see the joy on their faces. Real joy, earned joy. You aren't grandstanding, you're just sharing. Reactions, the sun-kissed woman lets out a breath you didn't realize she'd been holding. A soft, almost emotional sound. She tucks a strand of hair behind her ear, her smile now deeply genuine. Don't ever apologize for caring about real things, she says quietly. It's the rarest kind of oxygen. She steps just half a foot closer, almost imperceptibly, but enough that her shoulder brushes yours lightly. The sleek woman sets her glass down, eyes narrowed thoughtfully, not with disapproval, but with sharp interest. She leans back, folds her arms lightly and says, most people can't even hold a serious thought without crumbling into slogans. She tips her head toward you, almost grudgingly approving. You might be dangerous. The corner of her mouth quirks upward, the tiniest hint of a real smile. The music is still thundering absurdly in the background, but the three of you are momentarily somewhere else, in a pocket of sincerity most people in this neon madhouse will never even notice. What now? A smile warmly at the sun-kissed woman lean in and say, want to show them what survival joy looks like on a dance floor? And offer your hand. B glance teasingly at the sleek woman and say, dangerous? Only if you're allergic to real conversations, then step playfully back into the dance floor spotlight. C suggests another drink and invite both women into a playful debate. What's your definition of brave joy? D stay still, say nothing more for now. Just be present, letting them choose to follow your lead. A write your own move. The compass points forward. Where do you steer it, traveler? You shift your weight slightly, turning now, deliberately, to face the sleek woman. No sudden moves. No needy grins. Just genuine, grounded curiosity stitched with quiet confidence. Your voice is friendly, light, but edged with real interest, I think. You pause thoughtfully. Often the most can be learned from the silent wisdom of the silent voices. The ones who don't need slogans. You hold her gaze steadily, giving the words space to breathe, then add, warm and open. So, what can we learn from you? About joy, the meaning of life, and stuff like that. Your expression is curious, respectful, but with a spark that says, I'm not here to worship you or win you. I'm here because I believe you have something real to share, and I'm strong enough to listen. Reaction. The sleek woman regards you for a long, still moment. The air around her almost seems to hum with calculation. At first, you wonder if she'll dismiss you with a sharp little joke, a shield, a retreat. But instead, she does something you didn't expect. She smiles. A real one this time. Small, rare, edged with something almost wistful. She picks up her drink, turns it slowly in her fingers, then says in a voice softer and far less armored than before. Most people confuse freedom with noise. She sets her drink down, looks you dead in the eye, and there's no flirtation now, only truth. Joy isn't screaming louder, it's moving so well that nothing can catch you. A tiny glint of mischief returns to her smile. And meaning, you make it, then you break it, then you laugh and make it again. The sun-kissed woman watches this exchange with wide, slightly amazed eyes, as if seeing her friend speak this way for the first time. You realize you didn't just crack her armor, you invited her to step out of it, by choice. The dance floor still thunders behind you. But right now, the real music is here. 3 people sharing breath, ideas, space. No slogans, no masks. What do you do next? Smile warmly and say, "You move well. I'd be honored to move with you." On the dance floor, or wherever this night goes, lightly raise your glass and say, "To freedom without noise," and invite both women into a playful, symbolic little toast. Ask the sleek woman, half challenging, half flirty, if joy is moving so nothing can catch you. "Can you teach me a step or two?" Turn to both women, smile, and say, "Seems like I found 2 masters of joyful survival tonight. I'd be crazy not to dance with both." Write your own move. What's your next bold step, adventurer? You don't rush. You don't crack a joke to break the depth. You stay right there in the raw, vivid pulse of the moment. You turn slightly more toward the sleek woman, keeping your posture relaxed but attentive, and say, your voice lower, steady, inviting, "I feel..." That could be a deep moment, a silent voice sharing truth. Maybe? You let a playful glimmer soften the weight of it, adding lightly about freedom without noise. Then you fall completely silent, no fidgeting, no signaling, just listening. Present, open, unpressured. Reaction for a heartbeat, she simply looks at you. Really looks. Like weighing a rare coin in her palm, feeling its texture and worth. Then she leans in slightly, resting one elbow casually on the bar, her voice dropping into a velvet hush meant just for you, and perhaps by extension, the sun-kissed woman too. Freedom without noise, she repeats thoughtfully. It's when you stop explaining yourself, when you stop auditioning for affection, when you don't need a crowd to believe you're real. She lifts her glass, eyes gleaming faintly under the strobing lights, and adds, a little more wryly, "Noise is easy. Silence is earned." The sun-kissed woman listens with a wide, quiet smile, not intruding, not rescuing, just being there in the rare live current passing between you all. For a moment, the nightclub seems to recede. The sweaty dancers, the bad 80 seconds remixes, the flickering neon, and it's just the 3 of you in the eye of a swirling, colorful storm. You feel it. You've crossed some invisible threshold, not just attraction, not just banter, but real emotional territory where things actually matter. How do you respond? A nod slowly, meeting her gaze, and say simply, "Then tonight, let's earn it. No noise, just real moves." And gently offer your hand for a dance. Smile lightly and say, "I'm glad I asked." It's rare to hear words that make the world feel wider, not smaller. Then invite both women to join you back in the dance of life. Stay silent a beat longer. Then raise your glass in a tiny, solemn toast, honoring her words without cheapening them with more words. To quip gently with a hint of tenderness, "Well, I guess I better shut up and start moving, huh?" And flash a daring smile toward the dance floor. Write your own move. Where will your compass guide you now, heart traveler? You don't rush to fill the space. You don't force a reaction. You simply stay right there, still, open, fully present. A wide, quiet smile settles naturally on your face, not performative, not calculated. Just genuine joy at being in a real moment, rare and unscripted. You keep your eyes on the sleek woman while she speaks, not staring, not trapping, just witnessing her. Letting her truth land without judgment, without interruption. And while you listen, you also notice something beautiful happening beside you. The sun-kissed woman is watching her friend too. Her expression shifts, first surprised, then deeply moved. There's a flicker in her eyes, like someone suddenly smelling rain after a long drought. She smiles softly, a private, proud smile. Like she's seeing a side of her friend she always suspected was there but rarely got to witness. She doesn't say anything either. She just leans very slightly closer to you. A silent, instinctive gesture of shared experience, of 2 people breathing in the same rare air. The nightclub throbs on around you, ridiculous, neon, chaotic. But you 3 have slipped into a quieter orbit, something real threading between you like invisible silk. No noise, no performance, just being. For a few precious heartbeats, nobody speaks, nobody moves, and yet everything important is happening. From here, you could gently, without breaking the spell, extend your hand wordlessly toward either woman, offering a dance not as performance but as a natural continuation of this shared moment. B, let the silence stretch just a little longer, savoring it, trusting that one of the women may choose to speak or act next. So smile slightly wider, lift your glass very lightly, a small wordless toast, honoring the moment without demanding anything more from it. D, say very softly, no noise, just real moves, and step back onto the dance floor, inviting them to follow if they wish. A, write your own move. You're deep in the true heart of adventure now. How do you move through it? You stay exactly where you are, no hurry, no hunger, just breathing in the deep, rare flavor of the moment. You let your wide, quiet smile remain, relaxed and natural as you keep listening, not just with your ears, but with your whole presence. You watch the sun-kissed woman now, letting your gaze shift gently to her without losing the warm gravity of what's unfolding. And what you see is fascinating. She's still looking at the sleek woman, but not with envy or competition, with awe, like someone watching a hidden flower bloom after years of drought. Her fingers resting casually on the bar drum a slow, unconscious rhythm, not impatient but alive. Her body leans in the tiniest bit, her breathing deeper, slower. You realize she's not just admiring her friend, she's feeling the weight of the truth too. And somewhere in that shared silence, that shared witnessing, you and she become subtly connected, not by flirting, not by dazzling moves, but by co-respecting something sacred and rare. The sleek woman finally, very gently, puts her glass down, letting the tiniest smile linger at the corner of her lips. She doesn't speak again. She doesn't need to. Her part has been said. The silence lingers a few beats longer, comfortable, rich, before the nightclub's absurd energy begins to seep back in, like a neon tide. You feel it, the moment is complete. It lived, it mattered, and now it's ready to evolve into movement, laughter, connection, or something even deeper. Now, the next steps could be a smile gently at the sun-kissed woman. Lean in a little and whisper warmly, "Thank you for sharing this moment with me." Then offer your hand toward the dance floor, slow and inviting. B, catch both their eyes with a quiet, confident glance, then move toward the dance floor. Not demanding, just letting them know the next adventure is waiting if they choose it. Stay one more moment longer at the bar. Sip your drink peacefully, letting them make the next move towards you. D, lightly break the silence with a soft joke. Okay, I think we earned at least one ridiculous dance move after that depth dive. Then laugh warmly and offer your hand. E, write your own move. Your compass still hums with potential. Where does it point now, traveler? You stay calm, centered. No flash, no pressure. Just that solid, quiet strength you've been carrying all night. You turn your gaze to both women, one after the other, holding each of them for a second longer than politeness demands, but less than possession would imply. Your face shows genuine satisfaction, the kind of deep, clean feeling that comes from being part of something real. Respect beams from you, not worship, not fawning, equal recognition of the distinct beauty in both of them. Then in a voice that's low, warm, and steady, you say, just thank you. You let it hang for a second, humble and complete. They both watch you carefully, but not guarded now. Curious, softened, there. You glance slightly between them again, and with a slight thoughtful tilt of your head, you add, when I watch you two, somehow yin and yang comes to my mind. You pause, letting the image settle, not rushing to explain, trusting that the silence is part of the meaning. You look thoughtfully down at your nearly empty glass, then back up at them, your smile quieter now, a little reflective. Somehow, each one of you lets the other shine bright sometimes. Somehow, you two make the circle whole. You say it simply without ornament, like stating the weather. Reaction sent, the sun-kissed woman blinks rapidly, a hand drifting unconsciously to her heart. Her face opens in an almost unguarded smile, not a social smile, but a deeply human one. She looks at her friend with new warmth, then back at you, as if you just said something she's been trying to articulate for years. The sleek woman lifts one eyebrow, lips twitching into a sly, amused grin, but her eyes soften unmistakably. Dangerous and poetic, she murmurs, almost under her breath. Not mockery, admiration. The space between you all feels different now. Not a game, not a hunt, a communion. The energy invites a new step. You can gently extend your hands toward both women, a silent, playful invitation to bring this rare energy onto the dance floor. Be smile and simply say, I'd love to dance with either or both. If you feel like moving this circle onto the floor, stay still, content, trusting that whoever wants to move with you will choose to. You're not chasing anything. To playfully lighten the mood, okay, confession. If yin and yang had backup dancers, I'd totally audition. Then grin and step onto the dance floor, write your own next move. You've created rare magic. Now how will you continue the adventure? You stay rooted in the moment, feeling its quiet weight in your chest. You don't rush to act, to impress, or to win. Instead, you close your eyes, slowly, naturally, as if protecting something delicate inside yourself. You let the nightclub noise fade into a blur, like distant waves against a shore, and turn your attention inward, breathing in the image you just spoke aloud, yin and yang. Two forces, different, distinct, but not battling, balancing, completing. You allow yourself a long, deep breath, letting the symbol not just exist in your mind, but settle in your heart. Not analyzing it to death, feeling it. Around you, the sun-kissed woman watches you with a softness that's almost reverent. No impatience, no confusion. She seems to understand exactly what you're doing. You're honoring the moment, not for show, but because it matters to you. The sleek woman across from you studies you sharply. Not with suspicion, but with a keen, bright, analytical gaze. You feel her attention like a cool breeze across warm skin, measuring, weighing, and approving, not because you're pleasing her, but because you're real. You stand there, eyes closed, breathing steady, just long enough to make it clear this isn't hesitation, it's depth. A silent message radiates from you even without words. I see you both. I feel what's real here. I'm not running away from it. I'm standing inside it. And somehow, instinctively, they feel it too. Each in her own way. The sun-kissed woman with her soul-deep empathy. The sleek woman with her razor-sharp intuition. As you open your eyes again, slow, calm, you find them both still there, still connected to you, still waiting for what comes next. Not like a test, more like an invitation. From here you could smile warmly and say, I'd be honored to move this whole circle, you, me, all of it, onto the dance floor. Then extend a hand, say softly, with a slight grin. Not everything has to be loud to change the night. And just step onto the dance floor, letting them follow freely. So look at both women, eyes alive, and say, I don't know exactly where this night leads, but with you two, it feels right to find out. Stay still a moment longer, fully trusting the magic you've set in motion, letting them make the next move towards you. Write your own move. You've forged a rare emotional space. How do you continue your journey, adventurer? You stay perfectly still, present, open, patient. You hold the space you've created, a rare, delicate thing, and simply let them move if they wish. For a few long, glowing beats, neither woman moves. But that's not rejection, it's reverence. You can feel it, they understood, they felt it. The yin and yang, the dance of difference creating something whole. Not just between them, but now somehow including you. The moment breathes, stretches, and then inevitably, reality crashes back in. The DJ, apparently possessed by a mischievous spirit, suddenly spins the weirdest mashup yet. Whitney Houston's I Wanna Dance with Somebody layered over what suspiciously sounds like the Tetris theme song. The whole club jolts. Cheers, groans, and bewildered laughter rippling through the neon tide. You let the absurdity wash over you with a slow, knowing grin. And then, with perfect timing, you say with a warm, amused tone, oh, we're in a disco! You let out a soft chuckle, shaking your head fondly at the sheer ridiculousness of it all. Then continue, I usually go home when I feel that it can't get even better. You glance between the two women, eyes twinkling with genuine affection. Should I meet you again? I'm curious if you can explain to me that surreal yin-yang magic that leaves me speechless. You offer both your hands forward, not grasping, just offering, palms open, an honest farewell. Their response is as the sun-kissed woman's face flickers with a quick, tender sadness, but also pride. She steps forward without hesitation, reaching for your hand, and then, without quite planning it, pulls you into a gentle, heartfelt hug. The sleek woman hesitates a fraction longer, her gaze calculating, resisting, but something shifts in her. Her mouth curves into a small, almost shy smirk, and she steps forward too, sliding one arm around your shoulder in a cool, precise motion that somehow feels intensely real. It becomes a small, spontaneous group embrace. Light, unforced, real. You close your eyes briefly, smiling, fully there, feeling the strange, sweet current between you all. When the embrace eases, if only naturally, you turn your gaze deliberately to the sun-kissed woman, letting her see it all. The gratitude, the connection, the respect, without worship, without neediness, only the strong, steady light of shared truth. You smile, warmly, confidently, one last time. And then, without lingering, without regret, you walk toward the exit, your heart full, your steps unhurried. The neon doors of the Velvet Mirage swing open before you. The absurd night, the flashing city, the whole ridiculous, beautiful world lies ahead, alive with possibilities. And somewhere behind you, two extraordinary women are still watching you go. Maybe smiling, maybe wondering, maybe feeling the shape of a new story just beginning to form. End of scene 1. Would you like to continue to scene 2, perhaps the next morning, a surprise encounter, or even a new location and new challenges? Or would you like to reflect a bit on what you've learned about the two women first? Your choice. Perfect choice. And very true to the thoughtful, grounded style you've played so far. Here's what we can reflect on, based on everything that happened tonight. The sun-kissed woman, core essence, she is someone who values emotional authenticity above all. Her heart is wide open, but not naive. She knows the world's cruelty through her work in field hospitals and refugee zones, yet she still chooses empathy and hope. How she responded to you, she loved your genuine warmth, your playful but respectful humor, and especially your ability to listen deeply without pushing or performing. When you spoke about joy earned through hardship like in Rojava, it resonated with her world experience, because that's exactly the kind of deep, resilient joy she believes in. Her emotional world, she needs to feel seen, not just flattered or entertained. What won her over wasn't dancing skills or smooth talk. It was your ability to create shared, sacred moments of presence. Then hidden challenge. While she's open and luminous, she can be overwhelmed when people move too fast or stay too shallow. She blooms best with people who are brave enough to feel everything fully. The sleek woman, core essence, she is someone who values strength, autonomy, and mastery, especially emotional mastery. She's used to being admired, but rarely truly understood without being put on a pedestal or treated like a puzzle. How she responded to you at first, she tested you by remaining cool, detached, subtly mocking. But when you treated her with curious, confident respect, neither idolizing nor fearing her, she opened a hidden door. She shared real insights about freedom, silence, and personal sovereignty. In her emotional world, she respects those who do not chase her. When you didn't flinch, didn't rush, and didn't try to win her affection, she began to lower her guard voluntarily. Hidden challenge. While she wears strength like a second skin, she still longs for someone who can recognize the fragile beauty inside her autonomy without trying to fix, claim, or outshine her. The yin-yang moment, by calling out the harmony between them without turning it into a competition or favoring one over the other. You touched a profound truth they both know but rarely express. They complete each other. Different energies, but neither less valuable than the other. You made yourself part of that balance, not as a conqueror, not as a jester, but as a witness and participant in something real. That's why they embraced you. That's why neither pushed you away. You met their truth and respected it.